Welcome to Amethyst Academy. I am Muhammad Tariqul Islam Siam, and today we are going to be discussing about a critical issue with PowerShell, that is how a threat actor can use PowerShell to bypass the antivirus software. So today the antivirus software that we are going to be focused on is Windows Defender, and I'm not using other vendors because Windows Defender is there by default and used extensively by many users. But other paid vendors and other paid antivirus solutions are not used that much extensively. And the version of Windows that I'm running the tests are Windows 11 latest version 23H2. So let's begin. So recently I came up with the motivation to learn PowerShell, as it is a very powerful scripting language. But the fact is, PowerShell being a very powerful scripting language and the only scripting language that Windows supports, which is multifacets and multidimensional, it scares me because anyone can use any PowerShell scripts or any PowerShell commands to compromise a system or to take advantage of a security flaw. Like, they can issue PowerShell commands and the operating system will execute it. Because payloads, in case of other payloads, like if someone uses executable payloads, they have to be delivered and execute by the user by the user himself, and AV flags executable files very quickly. And also, executable files have dependencies, but PowerShell does not have any dependency, as it is by default installed in every Windows machines. So it really concerned me, and that's why I tested some of the mechanisms to bypass the Windows Defender using PowerShell. So I have came up with uh, three methods overall, which will cover up everything to bypass the Windows Defender. The first one is using exclusion process and directory. Second one is disabling antivirus settings, and third one adding threat ID exclusion. I will try to explain every option a little bit. The first one, that is using exclusion process and directory. Uh, if you are familiar with the user interface of Windows Defender, you would have seen that there can be exclusion processes and directories, and that means Windows Defender will exclude that particular directory and exclude that particular file, and it won't be scanned during real-time scans, and they won't be monitored. So that goes the first one. And the second one is disabling antivirus settings. This is pretty much self-explanatory because the safety features or real-time protection, turning it off, that pretty much sums it. And third is adding threat ID exclusion. This is like the first one, but it is a bit sophisticated, as it is post exploitation, because after a threat has been identified, it is identified with a threat ID and a threat signature. And if you or if I add that threat ID X exclusion, that type of threat will not be again pursued by Windows Defender. So that's a very powerful thing, because say I have a meter virus, and I added that threat ID to exclusion. So if an attacker wants to run meter shell in my machine, he will not be able to uh, the Windows Defender will not be able to identify or flag that process. Okay, so let's focus on the first example, that is the using exclusion process and directory. This is pretty much self-explanatory, but remember that we have to use the add mp preference command let. It means to add and settings to add a setting or add a rule to the malware protection preference, and you can see in the screenshot how to do that. So proceeding to the next one. Okay, so the result yes, AV detects process because of the dynamic behavior analysis. You may flag or you may exclude a file or a virus, but the antivirus continues to monitor every processes that are running in the computer. So if it sees that some malicious activity is being performed, which is called the dynamic behavior analysis, it means that if a file is run, it is continually monitored or surveillanced uh, on which activities the file is doing, like which connection it is making, or which of the files or which of the processes it is trying to capture. So if it finds it malicious, it will flag it, and that's why it does not work. If the virus is in the signature, then it does not work. Okay, so here you go, because of the dynamic behavior analysis. And the second one is disabling AV settings, which is very much vulnerable. You can see how to do that. Result is also detected by AV previous signature. Signature is Win32 bat temper A. That means bat means a batch file, and temper means a batch file that is trying to temper the AV settings. Same MP temper disable feature, Windows Defender, pretty much self-explanatory. MP temper service disable antivirus, and defender tempering restore. These are the flags that will detect your PowerShell script or PowerShell command that is trying to tamper with the malware protection settings. So this is a total no, because it won't even work. You cannot even run the script. Cannot even run the script. Okay. Okay. Another technique is to disable the antivirus or the protective features using registry and service disable mechanisms. But let me make it clear, I have researched, and with the latest update of Windows, Microsoft has permanently disabled. Microsoft has permanently disabled registry's power over Windows Defender. That means you cannot use registry to disable anti-spyware. Here anti-spyware means Windows Defender, so it's not possible. And also in the case of service, you cannot disable a service with the PowerShell script. You cannot do it because you need trusted installer privilege, and that is not going to happen. You can maximum gain administrator privilege, but to have that trusted installer privilege, you have to do some pretty significant things which you cannot do using the PowerShell script. So yes, PowerShell cannot disable Windows Defender using these techniques. Okay, so the final trick is threat ID exception. You can see an example here, that is ID 1234567 8, and we will use the same command let, that is add mp preference threat ID default action IDs parameter, and threat ID default action actions is allow. That means Windows Defender will allow that particular signature, or that type of virus that has that signature to be run on the machine. It is quite working, but the thing is, a malicious file not only contains one signature. Like, if you are using, I will give example in case of a reverse TCP meter shell. A reverse TCP meter PowerShell payload is flagged by six different type of signatures, and after you have included all those six different type of signatures in that thread ID exception list, still there is a possibility that the Windows Defender will just use dynamic behavior analysis and come up with another matching signature and just block the thread. So it's not 100% foolproof. Uh, so the disadvantage, dynamic behavior analysis may catch under another signature. Like I have flagged it under a specific signature, that is the 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, but after dynamic behavior analysis it will catch it under a different signature. Like that signature might be 2 3 4 6 5 8 9, that signature a different signature. And second is signature submission may update defender intelligence to catch. Okay, so that means uh, it typically means that up, if even if it is uncaught, like 100% uncaught, the defender intelligence will submit the sample and submit the behavior to its servers, and maybe it will be caught in the future like 2 or 3 days, because Microsoft regularly issues update on defender intelligence. So defender might just add a new signature that will flag your virus. So that's still not foolproof. That yes, PowerShell is very powerful indeed, but it is also quite a bit secure, and in a sense that if it's not a 0 day vulnerability and the user is not total uh, imbecile or foolish, you will be good to go. There is no risk. You cannot use PowerShell to bypass the antivirus software, and the result is this. Any I have tried to do everything in my power possible, but uh, the answer is no. You cannot permanently evade or disable Windows Defender using PowerShell. Using only PowerShell, it is literally impossible for you to permanently disable and just kill Windows Defender. So that is the final verdict. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being with the channel. I appreciate it. Thank you from Amethyst Academy. It's me, Muhammad Tariqul Islam Siam. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.